Hello, everybody. This is James Reeves giving you all the picks in the NFL each week. Last week was Week 13, Thanksgiving week. Hope everybody had a great time on Thanksgiving with their family. I watched football all day, and it was a great division games. I was 3-0 on Thanksgiving, so that was pretty cool. Eagles, Seahawks, Lions got big division wins. I ended my record at 11-5 for last week, so not too bad. Green Bay got a huge win against New England in Lambeau Field. That was pretty exciting. This week is Week 14, and we'll go ahead and get started. Our first game, as always, is our Thursday night game. It is the Dallas Cowboys going up to Chicago. Should be a pretty close game. I'm going to go ahead and get this one to Dallas. With the way the Bears defense is playing, Lance Briggs is out for the year. Team leader, after Brian Urlacher left. And without him, they're going to be hurting real bad. I think Tony Romo and DeMarco Murray will put up some big yards. I'm guessing at least 400 total yards for Dallas in this one. And they'll go ahead and get this much-needed win for them on the road. All right, our Sunday games. We have the Steelers going to Cincinnati for a huge division game. I'm going to give a surprise here and go with the Steelers on this one. The Bengals are number one in the division, but they're not playing very good football. They barely beat the Buccaneers by 1 point. The Steelers had a big loss against the Saints last week, but the Steelers are a pretty good team on the road. And I have more faith in the Steelers offense than I do the Bengals. I'm giving the surprise win to the Steelers on the road for a big division win. Next game, Giants going to Tennessee to play the Titans. Titans, of course, not playing very good football. They've lost their last 6 games with the rookie, Zach Mettenberger. Still has not got a single win yet. I'm going to go ahead and give this one to the Giants. Giants had a big loss last week against Jacksonville, but they're still a good team. They still have a good offense. Eli Manning's a good quarterback. Odell Beckham has been making unreal catches. I think the Giants will go ahead and come into town and get a big win here. I'm giving this one to the Giants. All right, the Rams going to the Redskins. The Rams had their best game all year last week against the Raiders, 52-0. Unbelievable. These young stars are playing outstanding. Trey Mason, the rookie running back, playing great football. Stephen Bailey had huge receiving numbers for him last week. They're a great team. Chris Long came back on defense. Their defense is outstanding. And there's no way I'm going against the Rams here. The Redskins, they're good on offense, but the Rams are amazing. They're the best front four in football. The Rams get this one on the road for sure. Our next game, Colts will be traveling up to Cleveland. Cleveland struggled so much against Buffalo last week. Colts are a good team, of course. Andrew Luck, still the number one passing quarterback in the league. Dante Moncrief from Ole Miss has really stepped up a lot. He had a big win last week. They put up some big touchdowns, and I think the Colts will get this one on the road. The Browns are still a good team on defense. Johnny Manziel may get his very first start. We're still not sure about that. But the way they struggled against this Buffalo team, I think the Colts will outscore them for sure. Okay, that's 5 road games in a row. That's interesting. We'll go ahead and give the Lions their first home win of this week. It's the Lions playing against the Buccaneers. Buccaneers still 2-10. Still not a very good team. And I think the Lions, they're 8-4. They've beaten the Packers this year. They swept the Bears, beaten the Vikings. They're good in their division, and they want to win and go to the playoffs. And Jim Caldwell simplified the playbook for Matthew Stafford to make it a little easier to play on offense. That worked well last week against the Bears. They won that one. They've had a lot of time to heal since last Thursday. I think the Lions get a much-needed win at home. All right, we got Texans playing the Jaguars. Big loss with Ryan Mallett going down on an injury. But Ryan Fitzpatrick gets his spot back and throws 6 touchdowns last week. Outstanding against Tennessee. Unreal. And I'm giving this one to the Texans for sure, especially after a 6-touchdown performance. He wants to keep his job, and he wants to stay in the NFL for longer. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick will go on the road and get this one done again. It's just against Jaguars. They've only won twice, and Texans get a big win here on the road. Okay, Ravens going down to Miami. This is a real tough game to choose. Probably the hardest one to choose from this week. The Ravens let Chargers come back with a wild win and get defeated. So it's hard for me to choose Baltimore, but I think they're a good team. Miami's also lost the last 2 games, and they have a great defense. Joe Flacco and Ryan Tannehill have been playing about equal this year at quarterback. The big difference is this running game for Baltimore. Justin Forsett has over 1,000 rushing yards. He's good, and he's replaced Ray Rice and done better from Ray Rice of last year. And I think that will be the big difference maker is this running game. So I'm gonna give this one a huge win for Baltimore on the road. Okay, the Jets playing the Vikings. The Jets, another abysmal game last week. They benched Vic and put Geno Smith back in. He got 50-something yards. Just horrible. No way I'm giving Jets a win, especially on the road. I think the Vikings will play a great game. They play great against the Packers. They're ready to win. They have a good defense, and there's just no way the Jets are coming in town and getting this one. Vikings get a huge win at home. Panthers and the Saints, big divisional game. Still tough to choose. Nobody's doing good in that division. Both leading teams are 5-7 of the year, but I'm going to go ahead and give this one to the Saints. It's at home. They did lose 3 straight home games, but Carolina has only won 3 games all year. It's hard to believe they were 12-4 last year with a bye week in the playoffs. This year, no run game. DeAndre Williams has not been doing anything all year. Cam Newton's been playing hurt. Nothing has been going right for them. I'm giving this one to the Saints to try to get a lead in this division. The Chiefs and the Cardinals, another big game. Another tough one to choose from. Chiefs had that heart loss to the Raiders on Thursday Night Football 2 weeks ago. They lost again against Broncos. So they've lost twice, just like the Cardinals have lost twice, but they've lost to the Seahawks. Of course, that's always a tough game in Seattle. Atlanta did upset them last week. But this Cardinals team, Bruce Arians is a fantastic head coach. That's why he's coaching there, because he's turned his whole team around. They're still 9-3. They're still a good team on defense. And I'm going to give this one to them, especially because it's at home. And Bruce Arians will not have 3 straight losses like this. I'm going to give this one to the Cardinals, a much-needed win to stay ahead in this division. The Bills on the road to play the Broncos. Bills, they play kind of rough. They have a few big wins, but statistically, they're still doing a bad job. On paper, they look okay, but, going to Denver and playing against this Broncos defense is not going to go well. I don't think Kyle Orton has what it takes on the road to get it done against this Denver defense. Last week, they stepped up again in Denver, and they beat the Chiefs. And Peyton Manning, you never want to bet against them. I'm going to go ahead and give this one to Denver at home. And I think Peyton Manning will do a good job. And again, Broncos defense is what's going to win this game. Okay, our next game, 49ers in Oakland. Of course, Oakland lost 0-52 against the Rams last week. No momentum. I'm going to go ahead and go with the 49ers. Even though they struggle, Kaepernick, dual threat quarterback, Oakland will have no answer for him on defense. 49ers defense is healthy, and they'll stop Derek Carr, the rookie, for sure. I think 49ers will get a much-needed road win against Oakland. All right, we got the huge game, probably the biggest game of the entire week, the Seahawks against the Eagles. Two juggernaut teams. Seahawks are trying to come back to their old selves. Defense has been playing lights out. They're doing an awesome job. But I'm going to go ahead and give this one to the Eagles because Eagles are undefeated at home. They have lots of momentum. They had a huge win against Dallas last week on Thanksgiving. They're a 9-3 team. They're undefeated at home, and that's why I'm giving them the win. If it was in Seattle, it would be a different story. But this offense is real good, and I don't think defense will have an answer for the way the Eagles play. And I got the Eagles having a huge win in Philadelphia to stay undefeated at home. All right, Sunday Night Football. The Patriots on the road to the Chargers. Now, the Patriots did lose last week to Green Bay, but only by a few points. They're still a great team, and there's no way I can count Tom Brady out, especially with tight end the Gronk, healthy and playing great football. I'm giving them a road win on Sunday Night Football. I'm sure the Chargers will do a good job. Their offense should do real good with Philip Rivers. There's no telling what he'll do. He's a fantastic quarterback, but this defense won't have an answer for Tom Brady. And the backfield in New England will actually probably do some good turnovers. Put some turnovers up, which will probably decide the game. I think New England gets this done on the road. All right, our last game, Monday Night Football. It's the Atlanta Falcons going to Lambeau Field to play the Packers. Atlanta had a huge upset last week against Arizona. Lambeau, though, is, after they beat New England, tries to solidify themselves as the #1 team in the entire NFL, and I don't blame them. Aaron Rodgers is, if not the best quarterback this year. Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, both receivers, over 1,000 yards apiece, over 10 touchdowns apiece. They're fantastic. And Green Bay, you just don't go to Lambeau and beat Green Bay. And beating the Patriots last week, they proved that. So, huge win for the Packers in Lambeau Field for sure. Atlanta should put up points, but not enough to stick with the Green Bay Packers. All right, guys, thank you very much. This was Week 14. It's been a real fun year, and next week we'll have Week 15, and I will see you guys then. Thank you very much.